is Adrift by Will Dean. Now, he is one of those authors that I tend to just go in blindly because I do love his writing style. But in this case, when I read the synopsis, it was very ambiguous and it really didn't give me enough of what this book was really about. Now, I have to say that once I started to read the arc in the beginning, there's like another kind of deeper synopsis of what this book is about, and then I thought, okay, this is not what I signed up for. Now, this is a story of Drew and Peggy, who in the Goodreads synopsis is telling us that they are living in a canal boat in a very remote area and that they're both writers. Now, they also have a 14-year-old son, and that's where it ends on Goodreads. Now, this book indeed was the story of this family, but the biggest part of this book touches on domestic violence, and that's something you need to know before you go into this book. The amount of gaslighting, the amount of like scenes where it's almost like you're seeing this happen, or at least it happened to me in my head, was really disturbing. And not only that, but they're living in extreme poverty. And why they're at this point, it's part of his decision. I'm not going to say what it is, but part of his decision of kind of keeping his wife under control. And in the beginning, they're living in this marina where they're still kind of part of the town. You know, the kid's going to school. He's extremely bullied because his clothes doesn't fit right, because, you know, it may not be the cleanest clothes, but they don't have a lot of water. They don't have a lot of propane to cook. They don't, you know, they just live under this extreme precarious conditions, and it really broke my heart from the beginning of this book. And instead of focusing on the atmosphere of where they were going, what was happening, I thought that it was more about the domestic violence. And although I do think it's a really good thing that, you know, books are coming out and it's something that we should all be aware of these things, I was not in the mood to read something that was going to be this disturbing. At least it is for me anyway. I read the book because I really wanted to see where this was going, and it was classified as, you know, the author of Masterclass in Suspense. I was really waiting to see what was going to happen in this at the end of this book, and it really didn't surprise me. If I had to compare it to something, I would compare it to a movie about domestic violence on Lifetime. Like, the ending, it's going to remind you of something like that. It is not very feminist, or it's not empowering, and maybe that's okay. Maybe that's what you want to read. But it really made me feel like this woman was going to end up dead, and that she couldn't do anything about it. And it was really one of those feelings that I just don't really want to have in my head. I really don't want to read about this kind of things, because unfortunately it's a very real thing that people are struggling with every day. And I thought it was a thriller. I thought it was going to be suspenseful, and honestly, if anything, was infuriating to listen to this guy say this kind of things and be so horrible to his family, to his kid, to everything, and to keep them in this extreme poverty. And it was just not one of those things that I wanted to read about. So I didn't like the ending. It was very predictable. The character at the end that shows up and says, you know, I'm going to help you, this person, and that way you won't get in trouble, with authorities, and I'm trying to be vague here, but if you read the story, you know what I'm talking about. It was so cheesy, and it was so overdone. It was so unnecessary. It was just one of those things that maybe you see in a soap opera, and I just cringe at the thought of seeing something like a scene like this that you see in movies because of the drama or the shock factor. But really, if in real life this was the case, nobody would be in trouble under the circumstances. The ending was way too long. There's 2 epigraphs, and they are from different point of views, and I really didn't care for the longer ending when nothing was revealed at the end. I was just hoping that I was going to turn the page and something was going to be revealed. Whatever was revealed at the end, whoever one person was and what was doing there, and it wasn't just, I didn't care. Honestly, I didn't care. I didn't find it thrilling, or if anything, I was just upset the entire time reading this story about a horrible person. And maybe it's the fact that I don't like unlikable characters, and it almost makes me feel very powerless to see somebody going through this and not having a way out for whatever reason. So it may be just me, and you may enjoy this. All the reviews I've been seeing on Goodreads are pretty amazing. And again, this might be something that is upsetting me personally, because it's something that, or maybe I've read way too many Rachel Harrison's books where you expect this woman to do something that it's going to help her. I'm not saying something amazing or that she wasn't doing enough. I'm just, you're just expecting her to be a different kind of person at the end, or somebody that is put under the circumstances. And this is a story. This is not real life, but it felt like real life. It didn't feel like that story that we can all kind of manipulate and make it go our way. It was sad, and I wasn't expecting that. So even though some people might find the end, and I can't say because I don't want to give it away, but even though some people may like the ending, I didn't. I don't think it was good. I don't think that the characters were developed enough. It was almost like everything was up to chance, and I can't say more. But again, this is one of those releases that will come out in January, and this is my experience with it. If you have a NetGalley account, you may want to check it out and see what you think for yourself. And again, this might be just me, but I just didn't enjoy it. So for me, it was a 3-star. It was well written. It was a pretty good story, but I didn't like the route that he took to take us to the ending. That's all I'm going to say about that. And let me know if you read it. If you have a NetGalley account and you read this book, let me know what your thoughts are. Again, we can all agree to disagree, but oh my gosh, I was so glad I finished it. And now I can tell you all about it. Now, thanks again to NetGalley, the author and the publisher, for providing me with an ARC in exchange for an honest review. See you guys next.